Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to this video titled Identifying Integers and Their Opposites. Now before we begin the video, you will need to get out your math journal and a pencil. So the goal for this video is to be able to identify an integer and its opposite. Before we begin this video, we're going to take a look at 4 key vocabulary words. Now you'll want to get out your math journal and write these down. If you need to pause the video and write these down, that is completely fine. The first one is integers. Integers are the set of all whole numbers and their opposites. So when we say whole numbers, that means whole numbers. So we're not dealing with fractions or mixed numbers or anything like that. For example, 2, 3, and 4 are whole numbers. -2, -3, -4 are also whole numbers. However, 1 and 2/3 is not a whole number. That is a mixed number, so that would not be considered an integer. Next one, positive numbers. These are numbers that are greater than 0. So a good way to understand whether it's a positive number or not, think about a number line. Any number to the right of 0 on a number line would be considered a positive number. Also, if a number is written with a positive symbol in front of it, it is understood to be a positive number. Or most likely, you'll see a number without any symbol in front of it at all, and that is understood to be a positive number. Negative numbers, on the other hand, are numbers that are less than 0 when you think about a number line. Any number to the left of 0 on a number line would be considered a negative number. You can easily identify negative numbers because it has the negative symbol right in front of it. And finally, opposites. These are two numbers are opposite if they are the same distance from 0 on a number line. So for example, if I have +2 on my number line, that is 2 places away from 0, and -2 on my number line is also 2 places away from 0 on a number line. So we can easily see, since these numbers are the same distance from 0 on a number line, it is understood that they are opposite. So now we're going to take a look at integers and their opposites. So we have the number +14. And we're going to take a look at that on the number line so we can identify +14 on the number line. It's 14 to the right of 0, and the opposite of +14 is -14. Now, how to remember that it is the opposite? We can see -14 is 14 places from 0 on a number line, and +14 is 14 places from 0 on a number line. So now let's take a look at -8. Let's find the opposite of -8. So first thing we do, find -8 on the number line, and the opposite of -8 would be +8 because +8 is 8 spaces away from the number line, from 0 on the number line, just like -8 is 8 spaces from 0 on the number line as well. Now let's take a look at +16. So we can see +16 is right there on a number line, and the opposite of +16 is -16 on the number line. So what I would like you to do now is pause the video, and I want you to answer the question of what is the opposite of -10 on the number line. So you can pause the video now. So pause the opposite of -10 on a number line. You can find -10 on a number line, first identify it, and then the opposite of -10 would be +10. So you can see a key tip for this is the opposite of a positive number is its negative number. So opposite of +14 is -14. The opposite of a negative number is its positive number. In other words, opposite of -8 would be +8. Now we're going to take a look at something that may be a little tricky, and that's finding the opposite of a number. So we just figured out how to find the opposite of a number. Now we got to find out the opposite of the opposite. So let's say our original number is 17. So the opposite of 17 is -17. And then the opposite of -17 would be +17. So you can see whenever you're trying to find the opposite of the opposite, it always goes back to that original number. Let's take a look at the next one. -35, opposite of -35 is +35, and then the opposite of the opposite would be -35 again. So once again, if you're trying to find the opposite of the opposite, it is always that original number. So let's take a look at this concept in a real world setting. So what we have are temperatures for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of the week. And we can see they are all integers because they are either positive or negative whole numbers. And we can see we have some positive numbers and a negative number. So looking at these questions, which day had a temperature below zero? We could see that Friday had the temperature below zero because it is -9. So thinking about the concept of understanding the opposites, which days had the opposite temperature, we can see that Tuesday had temperature of 9 degrees, Friday is its opposite for -9. So we can see Tuesday and Friday had opposite temperatures. And then finally, how many days had a temperature above zero? We can see that any number that is positive would mean that it's above zero. So we could see a total of 4 days had a temperature above zero. So this concludes the video about identifying integers and their opposites. If you have any questions about this concept, please let me know.